to talk a little bit about what makes a person who they are. And if you think about that, it's really about how you grew up and what molded you, what created you, what influenced you in your life to become who or what you are, whatever that may be. And there's a couple main things that we can look at that definitely influence us in our lives. You see, a lot of what makes you you, it started with the people that were around you, that influenced you in your life, like your parents, and your brothers, and your sisters, and the kids at school. These things really affected how you turned out in life. But that's not all, is it? No. There's other things, and there's one really strong, major thing that made you turn out the way that you turned out in your life. And that thing is, it's media. Think about that. That entails a lot of different things. It entails the TV, the movies that you watched, the TV shows you watched. It entails the video games that you liked to play as a kid. It involves the books that you read as a kid. And these are the things that you showed a very strong interest in when you were little. And these are the things that really help define who you were in your life, because you look at the media and you pick certain things out of it. And these are things that you say, I like this. Yoink, that becomes a part of you. And you see something else that you really like, and you kind of go, yoink, and that really enters into your personality and affects who you are. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, well, what made me who I am in my life? I don't think I'm a success by any means, but there are a lot of things that I love about my childhood. A lot of things that really affected me. One of the big ones, of course, was the Nintendo. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. Well, I wanted to play some games. I know this doesn't look very impressive, and quite frankly, I own a lot more video games than this, but I really just don't have the room to display them. And I've got huge boxes in my storage filled with games. But these are a lot of the ones that I like to play more often than not, and I like to keep them out. So, let's look at this, shall we? The Nintendo influenced many kids all over the world. I mean, these were the games that you grew up on. This was basically what you would run through school thinking, oh my god, I'm going to go home and play the Nintendo as soon as I get home, and I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to play that game. This was your life growing up, at least for a lot of kids. But, so, let's just take a look at some of the games, shall we? Amagon. I remember this game. I remember this game a lot. You know, just look at the cover of this game. Look at this. I mean, the cover explains everything. You got this little guy right here, but you can tell that, obviously, he gets powered up and becomes the big guy. And I guess he's like, Amagon to beat you up. Anyways, the point is, how can you go wrong? This is a neat idea. When I saw this game as a little kid, I thought, oh my god, oh my god. Little guy becomes a big guy, beats the crap out of monsters? This is a good idea for a video game. I mean, how could you go wrong with this concept? A little guy that becomes a big guy. How could you go wrong? Let's pop this gem in and give it a shot. Oh god, a Smurf! So let's begin talking about this monstrosity and how it first came into my life. I was in Boscov's in the electronics section when the eye-popping light blue box art caught my attention. As a little kid that knows everything about nerdy things like video games, I could tell instantly that this little guy on the cover had a gun and could transform into a strong guy. I gotta have this, I quickly decided, and I bugged my parents incessantly. I guess I was lucky. I mean, they did buy the game for me that day. But since that day, all it has brought me is a feeling of helplessness and ineptitude. So let's start, assuming you threw in the cartridge and have no idea what's going on. Even though there is no real opening scene, it appears obvious that you crash-landed your plane on some island somewhere. I love the cute monster face on the O. Well, it seems like you have to get to some sort of rescue ship conveniently visible on the opposite side of the island, just to taunt you. Now, about the player's character. I assume the main character is some guy named Amagon, but Amagon sure does sound a lot like Amazon, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, it's an island and all that, but I can't stop thinking I am Amagon of the Amazon. I mean, heck, strange mutant wildlife is all over this island, and I don't know what Amagon did to piss them off, but they want you dead.
My first impression as a kid was Amagon sure does look happy. He runs around with a stupid smirk on his face, and while he carries his gun. And when you collect the power-up icon and become, well, Megagon, he walks like he's got something stuck up his butt. Just look at how he pulls his legs up. And whenever you power down at the end of a level, he looks even more badly drawn than he did in the first place. So let's talk about what makes Amagon so hard. Let's explain why this game was a black hole that sucked all of the good, the love, the joy out of the world. Well, you don't get a life bar. Wonder how much health you have? None. If you get hit by anything, and I mean anything, when you're in normal mode, you're dead. Now don't get me wrong, this alone doesn't make the game impossible. I mean, I've beaten plenty of games where your character dies in one hit. Gunsmoke comes to mind. But that's not all. What do you think happens when you run out of bullets? Look at that! Dear God, look at that! No more bullets? Well, no problem. I'll just brandish this gun like a club and run around with it looking like an idiot. And don't even try killing things with this thing. Here, let's try. Okay, I missed. Alright, I'll try again. Alright, what? Look at that. Look at that. I mean, look at that. That went right through him. So, what the game is telling me right now is sometimes you'll hit things and it won't count. Meanwhile, other times it'll be nowhere near and then you'll still hit them? Well, this is unplayable now, so let's just die to get the bullets back. What? No bullets? That's right, when you use all of your bullets and you die, you don't get diddly pickles back. No more bullets. So it's pretty much game over here. Time to start over from the beginning and actually try not to use the gun more than you have to. The bullets aren't really an issue, as long as you use them carefully, but really, it does seem a little over the top. And later on level 3-1, there is this perfect place where you can kill some sort of snail thing and farm all the ammo you'll need. But be careful, this waterfall is a dangerous area, and I usually love to just Megagon through it. Because when you're Megagon, your points are converted into a health bar. As long as you have 70k points, you can turn into Megagon by pushing select, and you'll actually have a completely full health bar to play with. Meaning, no more one-hit deaths. The only problem with this is, sometimes the Megagon power-up doesn't show up, and while you're Megagon, you can't collect bullets, and I have yet to see a 1-up while playing as Megagon. And that's just it. Certain spawns of enemies are more likely to drop certain things. You can Megagon past 1 or even 2 1-ups by accident, and in a game like this, that sucks. The hardest part of the game is the continue system. Yes, Amagon does have a continue system. But you wouldn't know it unless you're able to live long enough to get to level 4. That's right, you have to at least get to level 4 before you can continue. This continue system is ruthless. Here's how it works. So, if you die on level 4, you can continue on level 2 or 3. I don't know why you'd want to continue on 2, but if you die on level 5, you can continue on level 2, 3, or 4. So, you still get a second chance, but it's possible to die on level 6 and continue on a death progression of failures all the way back to level 3. And if you die on level 3, it's game over. I almost did that. I died on level 5, then level 4, and then level 3. Game over, start the game all over. I had a complete mental breakdown.
Okay. Alright, calm. I have to start all the way over. All the way over. Because now that I died there, I can't continue. I had to start over. From the beginning. From the beginning. I was so close. All the way over. All the way over. You have no idea what kind of a mental meltdown this is doing to me. Right now in my head, it's like this. It's like, I'm going to beat this game, no matter what it takes. And you know what? Nobody cares. What kind of reward am I going to get anyways? The reward probably is one little screen, and it's probably misspelled. It's game over. But you know what? No. I'm not going to let them win. No. I'm going to beat the Nintendo.
The thing is, you're not exactly just fighting the game. You're fighting yourself. You can't always rely on your instincts to get past a situation. Like here, there is a giant condor that swoops in and your natural instincts tell you to jump away. Well, that's exactly the wrong thing to do, so don't trust your instincts. I don't care what Qui-Gon Jinn says. The game is filled with death traps. One of the worst ones is this skull head right here. You can't hit it, and if you jump over it, you're dead. And this spot right here at the beginning of level 3-2, where this second snail jumps out, leaving you no room to dodge it, the best way to handle it is to perform a difficult jumping shooting maneuver. I don't know what it is, but some of the jumps in this game give me some major problems. They're the kind of jumps where you have to go as far as possible before pushing the jump button, but I keep hitting the button too late, and when I do hit the button at the right time, you can almost see yourself falling off as you make the jump. Oh god, the jumping. Amagon sure does like to jump. That's not Turbo. If you hold the button down, he goes into a jump loop. I can appreciate the fast response time on the jumping, but god, what's this guy on? Too many Megagon pills? Or maybe he's just trying to prove that white men can jump. Oh, and that's not all. If you have a Turbo controller, he does this. I can't tell if he's pretending to be a frog or if he's actually humping the ground, but it does make me laugh to watch him do it. Let's talk about the enemies. Oh, we've got jumping mushrooms, fast-flying birds, weird insects that drop out of trees, firefly thingies, dragonfly thingies, golf ball shooting elephants, alligators, snakes that vomit up fireballs, spacemen that vomit out fireballs, yeah, spacemen that puke fireballs out their mouths. I mean, it looks like they might actually be carrying guns on their backs, but who needs that when you can shoot atomic fireballs out of your big gaping maw? The bosses are something else too. The first boss is a walking lion that you duke it out with on 2 legs. Then on level 2, we kick it up a notch with this insane stretch of death. I don't recommend trying to make it through this without becoming Megagon. You have to duke it out with 2 lions this time, and then, yes, a giant floating double-headed lion, head. Ironically, this boss setup is probably one of the hardest bosses of the game, and that's not saying much. See those 2 elephants? Hear the boss music? Well, those 2 elephants are the bosses. Don't want to fight the boss? Let's just lure them off the screen and voila. It's just like Double Dragon. If the boss isn't on the screen anymore, then the boss must be dead. Typical video game logic at its best. This skeleton boss is kinda neat in theory. First you punch his face till his parts fly all over the place and get stuck. Man, what a challenge. And I didn't talk about this yet, but when you are Megagon, you have 2 attacks. Your main attack is a ridiculous uppercut that just pulverizes things before they can even get close. Heh, snakes. Punch them. Fish. Punch them. Then you have this weird shooting attack. I mean, literally. It's like you flex your muscles and the amazing power of your muscles just erupts from your rock-hard abs. And for most bosses, all it takes is about 3 ab muscle explosions and it's all over. Not much of a boss, huh? God, I've done this boss so many times I like to pretend I'm doing squats. Doing the shooting attack takes away health though, so I would only really recommend using it on the bosses. Although, ironically, when you use the ab muscle laser, that's the one time items will actually spawn from the enemies. God, I played this game so many times now. You want to beat Amagon, you need to cut out all distractions. Because at some point, your brother or your sister, your mom or your dad, or your wife are going to barge in and start talking to you. You're not even really paying attention to them as they go blah 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 blah. But just that slight distraction and BAM! You killed me! You want to beat Amagon? Call out sick of work, shut off the phone and lock the door. That's how you beat Amagon. But at some point, your focus will be disrupted regardless, after hours of playing, and yes, you are good at the game. You suddenly become bad, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's fatigue, but suddenly, all that skill goes right down the toilet, and you start sucking. Just a few deaths, and it's all over. Back to the beginning.
Oh my god! There! It's the ship! It's the ship! Okay, I think I beat it! I think I beat it. Oh god! Oh my god, what's this? Oh! How do I hurt it? What do I hit? Oh my god! Oh my god! Did I hurt it? I don't even know if I'm hurting it. Oh my god! I got it! I got it that time! I beat it! I beat it! I beat it? I beat it. I beat it. I beat Amagon. I beat it, 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 I beat Amagon, I beat Amagon, I beat Amagon. You survived your mission. The end. Oh well, it's spelled right. I beat Amagon. I beat it.
Anyway, this ending really confused me, so I decided to look into the game's storyline to try to make sense of this madness. The thing is, the storyline in the American version and the Japanese version are completely different. In the American version, you are a Marine that crashed his airplane and has to get to his rescue ship on the other side of the island. I guess that explains the gun and all. But it doesn't explain how a Marine battles an alien and teleports onto a rescue ship. But in the Japanese version, they explain. The main character is a scientist named Jackson, who transforms into his Macho Man form using the special drug Macho Max that has been taken from his plane by the creatures of Monster Island. But I guess you can't have drugs in a Nintendo game, and it seemed more American to have a Marine running around with a gun than a scientist. And the strange end boss? I've seen this before. Yeah, wow. It's based on an extraterrestrial sighting that was reported in 1952. Yeah, really. It's called the Flatwoods Monster and was reportedly seen on September 12, 1952.
So that's it. I beat Amagon. And now I can only think of one last way to end this chapter of my life for good. And that's to put Amagon out of its misery. No bullets.